I guess I was meant to die, right? Because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't attack him because it wasn't ranged. Yeah. Okay. When Kaine's eyes flutter open, she sees a dozen villagers quizzically staring back. After a moment, she realizes she's collapsed on the ground, where sharp stones dig at her flesh like. Whatever. That's not important right now. She pulls herself to a knee before rising on unsteady feet and sparing a glance at her surroundings. The fudge. She mutters, what happened? Wasn't I just fighting shades? Her mind races as her hand gropes unconsciously for the blade that has been her constant companion for so very long. Though she can't explain it, it's clear that she has somewhat been transported to an entirely new world. Holy crap. Well, not entirely new. She recognizes the hawk-shaped weather vane twisting slowly in the wind above her, as well as the small, round homes with wisps of smoke drifting in the air. And of course, there are the villagers currently staring at her with a mixture of fear and disgust. Oh yes, they are a familiar sight indeed. She is in the Eyrie. She is home. There's something the matter, girl. Kaine spins around at the voice and sees a woman ravaged by time. Her narrow hips barely seem strong enough to hold her body upright, while the shawl wrapped around her thin frame appears ready to fall apart at any moment. Grandma, is that really you? Your grandmother's eyes grow almost comically wide before blinking several times in succession. What's wrong, you fool girl? Is your head lost in dreams? Dreams? Could this be a dream? But it feels so real. But she's dead. Grandma's dead. I watched that gosh darn shade kill her. And so if this isn't a dream, how the hell is she here? Unless those shades killed me too. That must be it. I'm dead. I'm dead. And this is... Oh, stop with that nonsense already. Kaine flinches as her grandmother raises a hand in the air, expecting pain to come as correction for her foolishness. But instead of a blow, her grandmother simply places a hand upon her granddaughter's cheek. The warmth of it instantly spreads from her cheek to her face before filling her entire body with a kind of beautiful light. Are you upset? Do you want to go home? Kaine feels tears coming to her eyes and struggles to hold them back. Though she still has no idea what is happening, she knows one thing for certain. This is her grandmother. Sorry, Grandma. Not sure where my head was at there. Well, just make sure you keep it attached. Her grandmother chuckles as she pulls her hand away. Maybe this is a dream. Or maybe I'm already dead. I don't know. But either way, I'm not alone. As long as Grandma is with me, that's enough. Didn't I tell you to stop spacing out, girl? Her grandmother says with a crackle. Here, now, hold this. She hands Kaine a large sack filled to bursting with all manners of fruits and vegetables. Dang, Grandma, this is a lot. Well, it's important to treat yourself every now and then. Besides, these villagers may hate us, but these bastards are more than willing to take our money. We'll lend support as we can, even if they have to hold their noses while we do it. Her grandmother trails off as if trying to remember something, then slowly turns around. Well, what do you know? In all the excitement, I forgot to buy my medicine. A thin smile wavers on her face for a moment before vanishing into a lifetime's worth of crevices and wrinkles, causing Kaine to take a concerned step forward. No, Grandma, that's fine. You go home and rest. I'll get the medicine. Her grandmother hesitates, clearly trying to weigh her own needs for her rest against her granddaughter's odd behavior at the moment. A moment before, oopsie. Before she can start to argue, Kaine charges ahead, ignoring the small voice in her head telling her what a bad idea all of this is. Really, Grandma, it's fine. Go home. I've got this. She pulls the grandmother's ancient wallet from her fingers, an act that requires a surprising amount of strength. Besides, you know how stubborn I am. Once my mind is set, there's no changing it. Wonder where you got that from. I need to be right back. I'll be right. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to really go. Anyway, I wonder where you got that from. Seeing that further argument will be useless, her grandmother slowly turns and begins the long journey home. Kaine watches the figure recede from her vision, waiting for what seems an eternity to ensure everything is alright. Once the frail shadow finally vanishes over the horizon, she turns on a heel and makes for the apothecary. The apothecary. Oh there, says the elderly apothecary as Kaine enters the store. Here, for Callie's medicine, are you? Oh, no few villagers had ever bothered to learn her grandmother's name. She and the apothecary were old friends. Perhaps that was the reason he'd always showed her kindness when so many others did not. Oh yeah, if it's not a bother. Okay. The shopkeeper immediately sets out about his work, deftly pulling bottles and herbs from the shelves and mixing them with a practiced hand. Soon a peculiar smell begins to drift through the store, one that immediately reminds Kaine of her childhood. There you are, says the apothecary as he holds out a small cloth bag. Sorry for the wait. Oh, and say, that's a fine portrait you drew of your grandmother. Looks just like her, so it does. Honestly, I've never seen Callie so over the moon about anything. She brags about it every time she stops by. You saw that? Says Kaine, her eyes narrowing. Said portrait was something she had whipped up one day after getting her hands on some crowns, and to call it rough would be an act of purest generosity. The idea her grandmother was displaying it around town makes Kaine's stomach want to sink down to her feet before slinking off into a hole somewhere. You bet I saw it, the priest apothecary says. She brought it all the way here just to show me. My, but it's been a long time since I've seen something so wonderful. Kaine's mind begins to whirl. The picture was crap. She was sure it was crap, and yet the man's reaction displays the exact opposite opinion. Is he just being nice to me? The apothecary, as if sensing her skepticism, doubles down. I can really tell you put your heart into it. It was simply wonderful. Thanks, offers Kaine, who just wants the entire conversation to be over. She briefly considers how she's going to make her grandmother seize her little traveling art show, but then realizes the train has likely left the station. Yeah, true that. Shaking her head to banish her increasingly shrill thoughts, she grips a bag of medicine tightly and turns to leave, but just as she reaches the door, she hears a loud thud from somewhere back in the shop. Kaine turned around to see the apothecary crouching on the floor. Hey there, you okay? When the man does not reply, Kaine moves toward him. She assumes he just slipped on something, or perhaps hit his head on one of the low-hanging shelves in the crowded shop. But the moment she draws close to him, she hears him begin to scream inside her mind. My leg, oh God, where's my leg? Panic, Kaine looks down and discovers that the man's leg is gone. Help me, screams a voice in her head. Help me. As Kaine looks at on in horror, the man's fingers begin to shimmer down and vanish. She reaches out for her with his other hand, only to find that it too is no longer there. Soon his arms go, then his legs. Then the side of his face warbles out of existence, causing a stray eyeball to roll out of its socket onto the floor. Hail, says the voice, if it could even be called anymore. I can. A moment later, what remains of the pitiful shopkeeper collapses into a heap of ash, releasing a small puff into the suddenly silent air. As Kaine stumbles back in horror, you hear the cacophony of terror rising up outside. Oh gosh, what's happening? My arms, where are my arms? Why can't I see? Kaine bursts out of the store and finds herself in a nightmare. Homes slough over the side of cliffs, taking out pieces of scaffolding as they fall. Screams echo out everywhere, creating an opera fit for hell. Villagers run into mad circles before exploding into dust, their clothing drifting this way and that as it floats untethered through the air. Ay, heck. As she stares at the scene, wide-eyed, a single thought suddenly inserts itself into the forefront of her mind. Grandma! Kaine breaks into a run. The crumbling world around her suddenly forgotten. She leaps from one piece of falling debris to the next, using them as stepping stones to cross a world that is increasingly losing cohesion. As she continues her mad dash, flakes of ash are blown into her face. Her mouth. Her eyes. Ash, 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 ash. Buildings and people, all reduced to so many cinders in the wind. Soon she arrived at her childhood home. It was once a place filled with precious memories, a place she regarded as an oasis in an increasingly mad world, but now, it is nothing but a pile of ash. As she gapes unbelievingly at the sight, a faint sound suddenly reaches her ears. Ah, nay. She's alive! Grandma's alive! With a speed born out of panic, she leaps into the giant pile and begins shoving it aside. It stings her eyes and burns her lungs. She continues on, heedless of the danger. Finally, she pulls a small, blackened form out of the darkness. Come on, Grandma, he whispers, we're getting out of here. Without waiting for a response, Kaine gathers her grandmother in her arms and breaks into a mad run, hoping to escape the chaos. But the wave of ash has become a tsunami, and before she can make it more than a few desperate steps, it reaches out with a cruel hand and overwhelms them. Kaine stumbles and falls, sending her and her grandmother tumbling into the ashes. One glance at her feet is enough to reveal the culprit. Her right leg has vanished at a point just below the knee. Oh, it'll take more than that to stop me, mutters Kaine as she slings her grandmother over her shoulder and begins to crawl away. We're gonna make it. We're going to live. As she crawls, her grandmother seems to grow lighter, as if trying to magically reduce the weight of her own burden, and as Kaine continues to struggle, she hears a small, soft voice enter her ear. Thank you, Kaine. As the voice drifted away, the last of the pile of ash that used to be her grandmother drifts away on the soft breeze. Kaine screams at an impossibly sad and lonely sound, and begins trying to pull the ashes back to her. Holy crap, this is sad. This can't be happening. It can't be happening. But the ashes are mingling with all the other detritus from the collapsed village, and soon she can no longer tell which particles belong to who. Come on, come the heck on already. As she continues her frantic digging, her hand suddenly closes around a piece of soft, ragged fabric. Her grandmother's shawl. I knew this place was a lie. I knew it, and I still couldn't do anything. I couldn't save anyone. I couldn't even escape. I just felt the peace in the place and I accepted it. I wanted it. That's why there was nothing here. No reason to live, no goal, no anything. So this is why I'm... Hey. Suddenly a new voice enters Kaine's world.
I say, can you hear me?
I say, can you hear me? It's Spicy. After a moment, the voice calls out again. Louder, clearer.
Now then, you wish to get him back, hmm?
Him, replied Kaine. Who are you talking about?
For the love of all the heavens, I always did know you were a handful.
Though the voice immediately began to grate on Kaine's nerves, there's something else as well. Kind of warmth, almost a familiarity.
Are you truly so daft that you have already forgotten one of your beloved traveling companions and friends?
There's a voice which causes something deep in Kaine's memories to surge forth. That's right, I had friends, and I was fighting to get one of them back. In this realization, a blinding, radiant beam of light shoots out across the ash-covered world. Covering her eyes with one trembling hand, Kaine reaches for it.
Do hurry back now, hussy.
Yeah, good old voice. A good old voice.